Hey everyone, it's Stranger Grayson here. Welcome back to another horror movie review. Today we'll be continuing the Critters franchise, and this is on a film that was actually filmed back to back with another one in this franchise, and obviously that movie is Critters 3, which was released in 1991. As I said earlier, this was filmed back to back with Critters 4. I believe after the reception of the second one, the studio decided they didn't want to do like another theatrical release, so franchise went dormant for a couple years until the producer suggested that New Line gives him like a budget of like $2 million for each film. I think that was the same budget as the original Critters, so the studio agreed and gave him $2 million to film this and another $2 million to film four. So I think they split it up like that to film three and four back to back. And you can tell this was filmed back to back, especially once you get towards the ending. And I will explain in just a second. So, Critters 3, what is it about? Critters 3 doesn't really tie into, well, it kind of does, but not really. Critters 3, we're out of Grover's Bend. We're done with Grover's Bend. We're not going to be there. This takes place in like a apartment complex, and our new characters are Johnny, I think her name's Alice, his sister, and then Clifford, their dad. They are traveling because their dad is traveling for work. Their mother has recently passed away, and their dad is trying to get his mind off things. This is straining his relationship with his daughter because he's not wanting to talk about her death. He's not wanting to mourn. He's just wanting to move on, and this bothers her and her little brother. So they start butting heads right at the beginning. You see that. While they're at a stop because they got a flat tire, John runs into a guy named Josh, and Josh is actually played by Leonardo DiCaprio in his first ever feature film. I believe he doesn't even want to acknowledge this movie. From what I've seen in like interviews and just past comments that he's made, he doesn't want to acknowledge that this was the start of his career. I mean, that's understandable, seeing how this was low budget, but like, I mean, come on, everybody gets their start somewhere, whether it be good or bad, but I totally understand why he doesn't want to acknowledge it. But anyway, uh, Josh was kind of rude to them at first. We also get introduced to his stepdad, who's an asshole. I'm just going to point that out right now. He's an asshole. Josh, doesn't like his stepdad. We see this later on in the film, but he meets the brother and sister, and they butt heads at first, but they eventually reconcile later on in the movie. That's always nice. So eventually Clifford and his family, they go and visit the apartment building, or they go and stay at the apartment building. And unbeknownst to them, they had actually caught a critter on the way because it like ran under their car or something and like hit in their axle. So Johnny finds a critter egg that's like busted open. It's got the green goo and everything. Right around this time, we also get introduced to Charlie again, and he is back. I believe he's the only character back for this film that was in the previous two. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. When I watched this a couple nights ago, and this movie was kind of boring, but I'll get into that. But yeah, he's like one of the only ones that return now. None of the Brown family are back because this is like a whole new cast. They're moving critters out of Grover's Bend. So we meet Charlie. He goes off trying to find some. Then we get introduced to this laundry guy in the apartment complex. He does all the laundry, folding them, washing them. He's a bit of a creep. Unbeknownst to him, though, the critters had actually gotten in through the laundry chute or like the basement area, like a window. They busted out the window, and they eat him. They eat him, and eventually the family finds out that the Krites have invaded the apartment complex, and Josh shows up along with his stepdad, and that's where shit hits the fan. So, Critters 3 is It's hard because the first two, while they are cheesy, they still have a bit of a, what's the word, specialty to them, if you can say specialty. I know a lot of people don't like Critters, but one and two at least had some good moments, and they were at least fun to watch. Critters 3, while it's not a terrible film, it was just really slow, and there was hardly any kills, man. Even the critters, like, I believe the Kyoto brothers came back to do this, and you can tell that they did, but at the same time, it's like just the low budget kills this movie because the kills aren't that great. Um, I know one's a bit gorier than uh, the kill in the first one that they cut. This one's a bit gorier, but still, you only get like two kills, and one of them's entirely off screen. So that's already a downfall for this. The Krites themselves, they lean a lot more into the comedy this time around. Like, two had hints at comedy, and so did one. I think two had a little more hints at comedy, but it was still, like, enjoyable. This one, it just doesn't really land as well, and it's kind of awkward. Oh my gosh, and the acting, don't even get me started on the acting. Like, Leonardo, he does what the script gave him, and he gives his best, and you can tell. I mean, gosh, I've watched, I think Wolf of Wall Street and um, Titanic. I mean, dude's done a whole lot of great movies. Uh, and I think out of everybody in this one, he did the best. But gosh, there's like a lady in here that like has no emotion whatsoever. It's like this bigger lady. She gets bit by a kite, and it's like every time she gets bit and stuff, she's like, "Help me, help!" You know, she doesn't even yell. She just like loud talks, if that makes sense. And I even laughed a bit just because of how stupid it was and how stupid the acting was. Not that the lady was stupid. I'm sure she did great, but she was dealing with a script that had issues. I just hope her acting improved because this film, was not that great. Uh, like I said, body count. If you're in this film for a body count, don't expect it. It's not going to be high whatsoever. So don't get your hopes up. I mean, if you want to include Krites, sure, it's got a decent body count. But if we're talking just human kills, no, it's only got like two kills. So yeah, have fun with that. The ending though, like I said, they filmed this back to back, so it leads into the fourth film, and Charlie eventually, you know, you see him in the post credit scene. I mean, he's throughout the movie, but kind of like how the bounty hunters did in the first film, they don't really appear or like help out until like three-fourths of the way in. So pretty much when the movie's got like a half hour runtime left. So he's not used as much in this film as I would like him to be, but I still think Don Hopper does an amazing performance as Charlie. And hopefully this fourth film does him better justice than three, because I really hated how they wasted his character in here. Me personally, I feel like I feel like they wasted his character. So yeah, not really much else to say about Critters 3. It's a weird movie. I'm gonna just say that it's a weird movie. You know, characters are kind of bland. Besides Leo, I mean, he gives his best, and Charlie, but even then, Charlie's kind of underused. Characters are bland. Kills are not great. Uh, the apartment complex setting, I guess, could work to a certain degree, but for me, it didn't work. I don't think the enclosed spaces work well for critters. Like I said, the practical effects are good. Just it wasn't as well of a movie as I thought it would be, and that's a shame because I thought an apartment complex would do them great, but I guess not. So that's pretty much it on my review for Critters 3. Hopefully 4 is better. I mean, it's not a terrible movie. I wouldn't mind going back watching it. But like if I had to pick out of any of the ones that I've watched so far, don't pick this one. I don't know, maybe 4 is worse. We'll see. But yeah, that's been my review on Critters 3. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 5, like 5 stars, probably a 2.5 out of 5. It's not a terrible film. Maybe a low 3, but I'm leaning more towards like a high 2.5. it's not terrible, but like it's boring and the kills aren't great. The writing's bad. Some of the acting's bad. It's just mediocre. So yeah, that's been my review on Critters 3. It's kind of a meh movie. What is everyone's thoughts on this film? Maybe you liked it better than me, but me personally, I didn't get as much enjoyment out of it as I thought I did. Thank you all so much for watching. Please leave your comments down below what your thoughts are on the film. And I will see you in most likely Critters 4. So God bless, and you guys have a great rest of your week. Bye, everyone.